This is Maureen Kafkas, the Brain BS coach, here to tell you about the episode today. In this episode, it is the fifth and final one of the RJ experiment. We speak about the importance of creating a nourishing daily routine that keeps living consciously in the forefront of our minds. We talk about the best way for RJ to manage his kids and prepare them for the future. We also hear about his holidays and everything that's been going on with him since the last time we saw him. He also shares what his experience has been like on the podcast doing an experiment with me. And he blew me away by one of the most unexpected outcomes I could have imagined over such a short period of time. It's just a testament to how amazing this work is. So I said I was going to put in the show notes all the benefits that he received during this experience, and there's a lot of them. But I'm not going to because then you might not listen to the episode. And I want RJ to be honored and everybody to listen to this episode because it was amazing that he came on here. I'll forever be grateful that he was the first person to do a Brain BS experiment. And I'm super excited to stay connected with him for as long as he'll allow me to be a part of his life. So here you go. Sit back, settle in. Episode 174 of the Brain BS podcast, the RJ experiment, episode 5, the final episode. Do you want more out of your life but not exactly sure what that might be? Are you longing for something but can't quite put your finger on what it is? That is the universe speaking to you, and it is time to listen up. I'm your host, Maureen Kafkas, the Brain BS coach. I created the Brain BS podcast to help people define what success means to them and show them how to get it. I help you to let go of fear and doubt and prepare your nervous system for success. I show you how to understand your own energy and to trust yourself to make all the decisions. If you are ready to go inward and stop looking outside yourself for all the answers, this is the podcast for you. Now let's get started. Hello and welcome back to the Brain BS podcast. I have RJ here for our fifth episode of the RJ experiment. So we're going to be wrapping up the experiment today, but our work together is not coming to an end. We are just finishing up on the podcast, but I'll talk a little bit more about that later. First, let's check in with RJ to see how the holidays were, and he managed to get sick by the end of them. So we're going to talk a little bit about that too. So RJ, welcome back.
Well, thank you, Maureen. It's good to be back.
Yeah,
Feeling halfway decent.
happily decent. All right. Well, first of all, how was your holiday?
My holiday was good. I went and visited my daughter Brittany and grandson Lachlan in lovely Murphy's, California, and spent a week with them. Saw a whole bunch of friends and relatives, and had a blast seeing them and spending time. I got to babysit for a day.
Oh, how was
That
that?
exhausted me.
How old is the little one?
20 months old.
Oh, wow. So running around and everything, huh?
Yeah, running around. But we went and visited my aunt and and so she got to see him and played on the play structure and did all kinds of other stuff. But he didn't get his full nap in with grandpa and or he calls me Pippi. Um but
Aw. So
so he
did
had
you
a
get
milk.
in trouble for that he didn't get his full nap in?
Didn't get in trouble. He wasn't too pleased when it came time to have dinner with the other grandparents, the great grandparents, um, at the pizza parlor. Had his little fits and throwing fits and stuff.
Well,
He's a great.
to be clear, I wasn't saying did he get in trouble. I was asking if you got in trouble because you
I
yeah.
I mean, it is what it is. No, I didn't get in trouble. At least I didn't get scolded by my daughter for not getting for not making sure. It was one of those ones, you're driving back from Jackson, which is about 40 minutes, and he fell asleep and, then woke up and trying to get him back to sleep after that, and, just didn't work out.
Wasn't gonna work out, huh? So it was a successful visit with family and friends. You enjoyed it and
I did enjoy it. I did enjoy it, but I caught a little, what I thought was a cold coming back. When I got home, I just felt run down, congested, coughing a little bit more. And slowly but surely progressed to where, just, you try the over-the-counter medication, then Dayquil, the NyQuil, the, other flu remedies and everything like that. And that still didn't work. And then by Friday, it was Friday, I was gonna go have dinner with my son, and I go to the restaurant and I'm sitting in the parking lot and I'm just, you know, chilled to the bone, and I thought I was gonna throw up. This is like,
Oh
you
my
know what?
God. All right, I'm going to be totally honest here. I'm
Yeah,
kind of a little puzzled because we've been talking all about this mind-body connection, and now you need to listen to your body more and less of your mind. So why were you in a parking lot getting ready to go to dinner, sick as a dog, instead of staying
because
home
I,
eating?
because I thought I felt better. I felt good that day, and but then by the time I, took a shower, got ready, went to Walgreens, picked up the script and everything like that, and got to the restaurant. It was just like, this is no, my body's screwed up. Um, my head was throbbing, headaches,
Did you stay and have
so
dinner?
no, no, no.
Oh, okay.
I did not stay and have dinner. I told him
Okay.
I'm going, if I eat anything, I'm going to throw up again on you, you know, which she doesn't like. Um, but so I just went home, and then the next morning I went to the clinic and ended up having a sinus infection. So been on antibiotics for the last 2 days, feeling better, at least getting something to, fight the pressure in my head and nasal congestion and so forth. And you know, another 5 days of antibiotics to do.
Yeah. So I just want to bring this up for your benefit and for the audience. When you have like an underlying illness like pulmonary fibrosis, it's
Yeah.
like your immune system's already compromised. So when you get something like that, like what day did you, we were going to do an interview last week, and you were
Yeah.
going to do it anyway. And at that point,
Okay.
you
Yeah.
were really sick and you didn't feel good. But until I said, we can hold off on it, you were going to do it.
Yeah. And it just, at times I feel good. At times at least can function. I was still working every day, still, still
But the
hitting the
question
demands
is,
of work.
should you have been?
Uh, You
That's,
know, Work allows me to, um, if I needed a nap, I took a nap. All right. So if I took a 2 hour break, I took a 2 hour break. Working from home for a company out of Singapore. It's not like I have a camera next to me logging in, as much time as I'm working or not working. I got my work done and then passed out. Um,
yeah.
or yeah, whatever it may be. But
But the reason why I'm talking about this, and I want you to just really hear what I'm saying here, is
okay,
not like whether it's creating a new relationship with your body that's going to
yeah,
get you a different result than you have right now. So it's really honoring your body. And I'm not saying you should have worked or not, and you got your naps in, it sounds like with your work, but I'm just saying moving forward,
yes,
you get to really, really dote on your body. You get to really nourish it and kind of baby your body because your body's used to being ignored, kind of.
yeah, yeah.
So I just want you to, just first, so you can create something new moving forward and start healing some of the things that you have going on. It's going to require a different approach to how you've been managing your body.
I understand, and I feel the same way. Where I knew something more was wrong, that the over-the-counter medication wasn't cutting it. So that's when I went to the clinic on Saturday and got something done. But they tell me they couldn't even do anything with a nase or sinus infection unless it's like 10 days after you get it. I don't know why, but
Oh,
anyways.
wow. Okay. All right. So, all right. I'm not reprimanding you or anything about it. I'm just like keeping, want you to keep an open mind moving forward, like baby
Yes,
yourself. Like if it was a little loved one that you had that got sick, how would you take
yeah.
care of that little loved one? Do that for
You know,
yourself.
I kept on harking back to when you had said, I can't remember what, would you allow your children to be that way for that long? So I'm trying to treat myself as my child.
Yes, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
That's the change that you need to create something new and different. So,
Yes.
okay, so you're on the mend now.
On
You
the men.
had a good holiday season. Did you,
Yes.
so I'm just gonna ask because I'm curious. Did you tell anybody about your diagnosis, your old friends and stuff? Are they aware of what's going on with you, or were you keeping that to yourself?
No, I had already previously told them since then my trip, other trips that I was struggling through and diagnosed with the pulmonary fibrosis. So um, it's something that, all my friends in California, all my, my Y-town buddies all know about it, and, all the family and people that I associate with haven't told word.
You haven't told work yet? Okay, well, that's a big thing to throw at me in the last episode when we had a different agenda, but that's definitely something. But I mean, you get to pace yourself
Yeah.
of when you tell work. I'm not exactly sure why you haven't told them yet. I mean, it's kind of loaded when it comes to work, right? Um,
Yeah, I just, I mean, categorically, I'm more considered a contract manufacturer or contractor for
mhm.
them as opposed to an employee because they're headquartered in Singapore and I'm in the US. They don't have a US entity. So I'm, categorized as a contractor. So as a contractor, do I have to divulge to them my health
No,
wellness?
I don't think so. I mean, that's what's
Right.
coming up for me. I feel like it's as long as your performance at work isn't compromised. I don't,
Yeah.
if you're a contractor, so you're not an employee. They're not going to replace you if something happens to you at work.
Yeah.
So, and you, I trust, I'm guessing that if you become more compromised, then you'll talk to them then and share that with them.
Yes, yes. I mean, I've shared it with, there's one other gentleman that the two of us run the US, and I have shared it with him. Um, so he's aware of it. So the other guy that I work with in the US knows about my situation. So, but I've asked him not to say anything to any of the headquarters or, any of the people
Yeah,
beyond.
I think that's your choice, actually.
Yeah, 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 yeah. So, and he's a contractor too, so.
Yeah. Okay, so another question I have is,
Yes.
would you say, going on this trip, were you able to stay, not necessarily because of the work we're doing, but maybe a little bit because of that, but also because of this recent diagnosis? Were you able to really stay present and like enjoy it in a more intense way, do you think, than you would have normally?
Um, I try to probably about fitting in more, seeing more people than I would normally, or trying to reach out to people that in some cases I might not have, you
Mm-hmm.
know. Um, so I did do that and spend some time with other people that, you know, um, went to dinner with a family that are great friends and, for they had an early Christmas dinner, so went to their house and had dinner with their entire family, which was you know a dozen, two families really, two brothers,
Mm-hmm.
and all their wives and kids and everything like that, and so it was great seeing them. Went to lunch with another buddy that I hadn't seen in a while or spent time with in a while. So, yes, I tried to get around and see more people and
And how
you
did
know,
that feel to do that?
it felt really good actually. It was nice to, take the time to do things that I wanted to do. Still, paying attention to my daughter and the grandson and what they were doing. There were times, of course, when she didn't have him because the father had him during the days. Um, so
So are you saying it's possible to have a family and balance your needs with theirs and not just take care of them? You can actually take care of yourself and it feels good to do that.
yeah, my needs come first.
Yay! That's exciting.
Yeah. So no, I mean, that's the way I have to put it, Maureen. It's um, you know, in all of our conversations and everything like that, if I don't put myself first, um, I'm not going to be here, for them in the future.
Yeah, that is, and listen, that, and this applies to anyone who doesn't even have a diagnosis like you. You have to put yourself first to show up in a way
Yeah.
that you can be really proud of and feel good about to your families or friends or community or whatever it is. So that's okay. So that makes our experiment worth it right there, that you're taking care of yourself. And here's the other thing. You you expressed in earlier episodes regrets that you had about your brothers at the end of
Yes.
their lives and not being able to be there more, whether you could have been or not. Your brain's offering you, regret and feeling bad about that. So I think that's really important for the audience to hear too, that okay, so this is going to be really counter, it's not going to sound right, but your diagnosis is kind of a gift in a way to getting you to change the way your relationship is with yourself. And then that's making you more open and reaching out to other people that you haven't really been trying to do that with in the past. So that would sort of be the silver lining of the
Yeah.
diagnosis, right?
Yes. Yes. Doing other things where, um, come February, gonna go, me and Patrick are gonna go see our nephew, David, and where are we going to? Memphis, or not Memphis, oh, where's
That's
I'm
all right.
drawing a blank.
It'll come to you. It's normal age-related changing audience and RJ, where we have difficulty with word finding when we're in our 60s. It's nothing to be alarmed about.
But anyways, it's close to Memphis. What's the big city in next? You know,
Oh, Memphis
yeah,
is kind of Nashville.
Nashville, Nashville. There
There
you
you go. Ding, ding, ding. All right, we
go.
got it.
So, and then my high school buddy Ricky Marsh lives in Nashville. So I put it out there, and now it's me and Ricky and Bobby and Mike and Dave Williams and Jack Cunningham. We're all
Oh,
going to meet up in Nashville
fun.
that weekend, and it's the weekend after my 62nd birthday. So kind of throwing all kinds of things together and
I
a
love
get
that.
together and celebration for my 62nd birthday.
That's awesome. I love it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It'll be fun.
All right, so let's talk a little bit because I kind of made up a list.
Yeah.
But I want to hear from you first before I do that. I also want to, like this episode, I want to talk a little bit about, we had spoken in the last episode about how you wanted to come up with like a routine of how to manage all these things that you're like trying to do.
Yes.
Um, so I think, and also like how best to help your kids and like
Yes.
what's the best thing that you could do for your kids right now. So, and that will be an ongoing thing because it'll change over time depending on what's going on with you. But really letting them see this change in you where you're taking care of yourself, where you're reaching out to people more, you're opening up, you're willing to be more vulnerable is probably the greatest gift that you can give them.
Yeah. No, I agree. on the time wise, I've kind of started to put together a daily, plan of things I want to accomplish in the morning, the afternoon, and the evening. So breaking it down into, of course, each area I have to have a nutritional meal, with all the medication I'm on. I have to have, have a I have to have food with the medication in the morning and the evening. So, those are a must. Lunch, I always, have a decent lunch, whether it be just a sandwich or something like that. It's not a huge meal, but some of the sandwich and a salad or just a salad or whatever it may be. Um,
And do you
but
feel
other
like
things,
that's going pretty well for you? Like, are you doing that consistently?
with yes, as far as meals and everything like
Uh,
that, I do that
yeah.
consistently. Yes, that's one thing that I do on a consistent basis and have been doing for, quite some time. Um,
And you monitor
just
your insulin levels and all that so you feel really good and comfortable with that part of your life?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
With the meals, with the insulin, with the diabetes and monitoring my blood glucose and so forth and understanding, the data my Freestyle Libra is giving me and, because well, it's a whole bunch of numbers, but it is, if you understand it and, um, can, can work it, you know, um, it's good information.
Are you still
Now
walking every day?
probably the last week I haven't, but today I did get out and I walked my half an hour today.
Yeah.
Because I just had this last week is just I just didn't, you know, whatever time I wasn't working, I was napping or resting
I'm
or
really happy to hear that you weren't walking this week when you were sick. So
yeah,
yeah, there's no guilt there or feeling bad or like you should have
yeah.
been, or yeah, you took care of yourself. So that's a really good thing.
Yeah, but today I got out and I put on my calendar or my schedule 10 o'clock, take, at least, 20 minutes, half an hour to walk. I walked for 20 minutes and, there's snow on the Four Peak Mountains in Phoenix. So that was cool.
Yeah.
Um, but the I'm trying to, at least walk in the morning, walk in the afternoon, just to get up and get out of the house and, get some movement in my body.
Yeah. That's
Um,
good.
so that
And
I
so
want to,
let's stop there for a second.
yeah,
So with that walking, because I just want to make sure that this is solid in you as a lifestyle change. And you can break up the walks. You don't have to have like it all in one walk. You could break it up into
yeah,
separate ones. But like just that it's helpful to have a thought that supports the feeling that's going to get you to take that action every day. So like one that's popping up for me for you is that walking is non-negotiable with this diagnosis. I have to do it.
I
But what works for you?
what works for me
Yeah.
is walking. I need to build back up muscle, to tell you the truth. Walking is exercise for me to build my muscle and strength. Um, it's not gonna, better my pulmonary fibrosis. It's gonna better my diabetes.
It's getting better your
It's
heart.
better my heart. Yeah,
Yeah. Your
so
circulation. Yeah. Your
yeah,
cardio,
yes.
everything. It's going to help your lungs.
So yes. So that's for me, it's the um walking to better myself, physically.
Okay. And that's enough to keep you doing it.
Yeah. I mean, it was, enough to keep me doing it until I got damn sinus infection, and then it just sidelined me for a while, for a
Yeah.
week.
Yeah. So pay attention. And then when you get into like when we come back to the our next meeting at the Brain BS community,
Yeah.
then let us know. And then just be totally honest about everything when we have those meetings about things like this, because then we can help you manage your mind.
Okay.
to get back on track if it's hard. Because sometimes when you haven't been doing something for a long time and then something happens and derails you, sometimes it's hard to get back into the habit of doing it again, and sometimes it's not. So we'll
Yeah,
just see how it goes for you. But it seems like you
yeah,
understand the value. I'm not sure you totally understand the value of it from a mental and emotional standpoint, but you definitely seem to from a physical.
yes. And and outside breathing and getting away from the desk and getting off, out of the chair, is physically good for me too,
Yeah.
as opposed to sitting here for hours, um, which
Yeah.
is always better.
There was a book, I read it a long time, it's been a while, but it's a book about comparing if you're a person who's sedentary and sits all day and you
Mhm.
walk like 45 minutes to an hour a day. It's actually
Yeah,
more beneficial to keep moving throughout the day than to do that one 45-minute walk. It's
yeah,
better for you. So I like the idea of you breaking it up and thinking of your day in segments and putting short walks in there. I think, and actually that's kind of reminding me to do the same thing. Like I want
yeah,
to incorporate a little bit more moving around during the day too, because I'm on the computer and working too. So it doesn't have to be a big window of time where you have a huge workout and then you sit the rest of the day. That's not the point. It's to keep moving.
yeah, yeah. No, I definitely agree. And you know, I walked for like 20 minutes this morning, and I'll probably this afternoon break away, and walk out another, 20, 30 minutes. And it's just around the community. I mean, it's not a big, huge community or anything like that, but it's,
Yeah.
enough streets and enough ways to go back and forth that, burns, easy 20 minute, 30 minutes, If I walk 3 times around the block, that's a mile. At
Okay.
least according.
And then that's good, like when you're working and you're just trying to create more movement. But then
Yeah.
sometimes too on the weekends, you could go someplace that's pretty and open and drive there
Oh
and
yeah,
walk
yeah,
it
yeah,
in nature where it's like really pretty. That can be inspiring too.
yeah, yeah. But yeah, when I was taking pictures of the four peaks with the snow on it, it was behind the pool on in our community and everything like that. And we back up against an Indian reservation. But there are, I guess I could walk a good portion of the fence line, you know,
Uh-huh.
um, but I haven't explored that option yet.
Well, you just
But
eat. So anytime you're going to do anything different, it starts with a
yeah,
thought.
yes,
So you just open yourself to the possibility right now of doing that. There's no time frame for when you have to start doing it. But that's like how you begin doing anything different is being open to the possibility of it. So
yeah,
just that's anything.
yeah,
Dating, the way you eat, walking, exercising, getting a personal trainer maybe to help you with building muscle.
yeah, yeah,
So all that's available to you. The only limitations we really have are the ones we put on ourselves. I'm definitely finding that out for myself too.
yeah, yeah. No, and I would agree with that.
Okay, so what about like so we have the Mastering Brim BS for Success course that comes with the community, and then we have community meetings and stuff, and you want to create a daily routine where you're able to remember the importance of living consciously and keeping
Yes,
this at the forefront of your mind because it's a practice for sure. It's just like if you go to do Pilates, Pilates only works if you keep doing it. When you stop
yes.
doing it, you don't experience the benefits for much longer after you stop doing it. So have you been able to figure out how you're going to incorporate doing, and have you considered meditation or doing anything like that?
I have on my list. So, in addition to walking, uh, I got an app called Bend. So doing stretching and bending, and they have different, um, uh, whether it's 5 minutes in the morning or 10 minutes in the afternoon or in the evening, or they're all tailored to a specific amount of time. So I'm gonna try to incorporate that in my daily routine. Then I also have some stretch bands, so more of an exercise using my, muscles in different ways. Um, Yoga, I would like to explore yoga, but haven't put that down, but I will write it.
Okay. Yeah,
Um,
and you can explore all this stuff like for you. It seems like because the physical is so prominent for you, doing physical things, that you could include the meditation or
yeah,
listening to relaxing music or listening to an inspiring podcast while you're doing the walking or so then that way you're incorporating it. But you just want to keep remembering how important it is to maintain the relationship you have with yourself and start being open to these new ways of doing things and not get back into your old habit of putting everybody else first and not listening to your body.
I I understand.
Okay.
Yes. So in the evening, it's, trying to do pickleball or, exercise, errands, grocery shopping. So, in addition to into the nutritional meal or balanced meal. Um, or get other projects done that I want to get done for the day. In the morning, make a to-do list, which in some cases I do sometimes, but I don't do it on a consistent basis. So
Mhm.
those are the few things I'm going to start implementing in my daily schedule.
That's awesome because you're creating some structure, right?
Yeah,
And
that's what
structure is good. Like, but, I mean, you don't want to be tied to it. Like, if you're sick or something, you don't follow the structure because then it's not going to benefit you. But having that in place, it kind of is kind of energizing and organizing. And it's kind of empowering. It feels like you have a little control over your day and it's not just like happening to you. And I think this is a really good thing for people who are working from home remotely, who are listening to this. You can't just stay at home all the time and spend all your time there, like from an energetic standpoint, let
yeah,
alone physical, mental, spiritual, or emotional. It's just not good for you. And you got to
yes,
be around other human beings. Even if you're not talking to them, you got to be in their energy field at the grocery store or walking or doing something. Okay, so with all that, do you feel like you felt pretty comfortable with your daily routine?
yes.
Okay. And then
You know,
again, oh, go ahead.
starting a better daily routine now that I'm feeling better.
It's always based on when you're feeling better, right? So, and
Yes,
you're allowed to cough. You don't have
yeah,
to worry about that on your podcast. So, okay, so now I want to talk to you about the kids and
yes.
what you're thinking because this is this will be an ongoing thing for sure because right now you're doing pretty well. And hopefully you will be for a long time.
Yeah.
But like what kind of things are you thinking about would be most beneficial right now? Like I wrote down, let me see, what did I put here? Um, how can you best connect with your kids during this time? And what is the greatest gift you can give them at this time? And how can you be the best role model in the situation that you're in?
Um, so it was gifts, role model, and what?
Connect with them.
Okay. I have an extremely good relationship with all my children. We connect pretty much on a daily basis now.
Okay.
Um, whether it be, just saying, good night, love you, how was your day, texting, uh, with the two of them that live here in Arizona, my daughter who's visiting my other daughter in California right now. But she is living with me. She's, at her boyfriend's house a lot of the time, but you know, that will it'll be good to, have her around more. She's the youngest and probably the one I you know concern the most about. The other, my older daughter, Brittany, she's 28, as a child, has a lot going on. Um, we have, again, open communication. We, talk, at least a couple times a week. We text every day. I try to send her inspirations for the day.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. Um, just try to get her motivated.
Okay, before
Yeah,
you go further with that,
yes.
you're trying to get her motivated, which is good. You're
Yeah.
taking care of that's no, that's awesome. Because when you try to do that for someone else, you're kind of doing it for yourself too. So that's a good thing. But I'm also wondering, like when we're talking about connecting with them, are you like, I'm talking about, like when I'm talking about really connecting with them, which the kind you're doing is awesome and super important, but also like at a deeper level where you're vulnerable and being open, honest, and authentic about what you're experiencing and your fears and doubts. And are you able to share any of that with them, or does that feel like something you shouldn't be doing?
No, I mean, when I was visiting Brittany, we did have a good heart-to-heart conversation about, what I was going through, what she was going through, and, cried together, which, you know, she talked to me about some of her anxieties and depressions and, what's causing those. And, that helps her get them off her chest and out so that we can discuss them in the future.
And were
Um,
you able to do the same? Do you feel like you were really able to share your fears and concerns, or
yeah, I mean, I guess it's tough to say. Did I do everything, or I mean, we all know that I'm going to die sooner or later. That's probably the main the main issue with the myself and the children. Um, trying to make sure that they're prepared. So, it was tough when I lost my dad at 17, and shit, I didn't know anything. You know, so understanding that some of the things that I went through after that, um, and try and impart that knowledge with them, um, is important to me, and understanding and making sure that they know how to you know live financially good, mentally good. It's okay to talk to therapists, talk to support people, talk to family. um, you know Reach out to friends and people that you can trust. um, One of the things I was thinking about is trying to find a support group for pulmonary fibrosis in the area, and I know there is one. um, I just have to figure out if it's through the hospital or through a different organization. um, and do they have uh, support groups for uh, family members, like AA has,
yeah,
the AA people, and then you have the
yeah.
support people for the AA guys. You know, and so, trying to see if that will make any sense. Gifts, just, try to be there as much as I can, for them, answer any questions they may have. Um, Leave them as much, financially as I'm able to. Um, with the created a trust and a will and so forth, and got that all set up. So, there's no questions about them, not necessarily arguing about money, but at the end, it's something that you know, it's all in writing, my wishes.
Yeah. Okay.
Mhm.
All right. So when you were talking about all that, like the
Mhm.
things that were coming up for me, is it sounds like you've taken care of the physical
Yeah.
needs and prepared for that. But it got me thinking about some of the things that you regret at the end of your brother's lives.
Yeah.
And that could be something, and you're kind of doing it with this podcast. If they're
Yeah.
listening to it, and if they're not, you should encourage them to listen to it for sure.
No, they have been listening to it. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, because then they'll see in this podcast like what like how what you went through of not being as present as you wish you were, not and it was a difference if they were far away or whatever, but really just about being really present and loving the way they show up as your kid for you during
Yeah.
this time, because that is where the greatest guilt comes from when a loved one dies. It's not about whether they have the money or the systems in place and all that. It's the guilt about what they did when their loved one was there. So like really kind of and also sort of I do this with my husband, but kind of I do it tongue in cheek, but I'm kind of serious. I'm like, it's okay when I'm gone. I don't want you to feel bad about what you just did because you should, but I'm forgiving you now in advance so that you don't
Yeah.
worry about it after I die. Because it is crazy the things we feel guilty over after someone dies.
Yeah.
Like it could be really weird, random stuff. So I want to come back to the letters again, or like audio recordings or something that you can do regularly so that you're so if and also like this is sort of like what you're doing anyway. You kind of want to nest and get things in order at this point.
Yeah.
And you can really just focus on living your life the best life possible. And just that I think is the greatest gift that you could give them.
Yes. Yes. And yes. And I have written one letter
You did
to myself.
to yourself.
Yes.
I love that. Well, I don't want you to reveal anything in there that's too private, but can you give me an idea of what your thought process was when you wrote it to yourself?
Um, when I think of letters, I think, what made me angry, or, with this person, what made me happy with this person, what did I, like to do, what did I learn from you, what did I, not like you doing, things like that. But it all came down to, was I the best person? Was I the best dad, or the best brother, or the best friend? Um, people that, we went to school with, um, maybe, you know, someone thought I was a better friend than what I was to them, in their mind. Or, you're going out with, your girlfriend, and you graduate high school, and I moved to California and never reached out again, you know.
Okay. So like really coming to terms with all these things about yourself that you've
Yes.
done. And but also I just want to point out to you that relationships are just thoughts in our head.
Yeah.
And it's in their thoughts in our head, not the other person's. So it's what we think about them and what we think they think of us because of whatever we've done or not. So when you say
Yeah.
"Well, this person thinks you were a better friend than you were," that's not possible because your friend's own brain is the one that determines the relationship, not you. You just do it
Yeah.
from your end.
Yes. Yes. I understand. And or yes. I mean, you have I mean, So I've written a letter to myself.
Good. How did it feel to do that?
Good. I mean, I'm pretty much 50% done so far.
Okay, so you're in the process. That's all right. That's good. And I hope you didn't just do that so that you could say you did it when you came on here. I hope you did it because it really felt like something that could be beneficial to you.
No, no, it was something that, it's like when um, all right, here's a question. When one person is always in your dreams or continually being in your dreams, what the hell does that mean?
Unfinished business. Do you want to tell us who the person is?
No.
Okay. We could talk about that another time in private or whatever if you want and you want to explore that. But if somebody is continuing to show up in your dreams, or even when if it's not your dreams, but you're awake and
Yeah.
thoughts and different things come up around that person, it's because you have unfinished business. You have
Okay.
not, and it's not necessarily about anything to do with the other person because you kind of just confirmed that when you were writing the letter. What happens
Yeah.
is it makes you go inward. It
Yeah.
makes you go inward to look at how you showed up and how you participated in that relationship. And then the more you get used to being honest and open and transparent and authentic, the more you can be like that with yourself. And then you can be like that with other people because you're not hiding anything anymore. We know
Yeah.
we don't have to be perfect. It's not possible to be a human with a brain and be perfect. And we all have flaws. I don't care how nice we are, or soft spoken, or kind, or loving on the surface. We all have them without question. It's a part of being human.
Yeah. Yeah. No. Uh, yeah. Jackasses driving down the road. It's like, what
Yeah.
the hell?
Yeah. But if you really get triggered by jackasses driving on the road, you're a jackass driving on the road sometimes too.
Well, but just watching people just like, where the hell did he come from? Jetting
Yep.
past you 30 miles more an hour than you are. You're already at
Probably
the speed limit.
at some point in your life. I'm not saying like that can be annoying or you could have concerns about safety or whatever. That's different. But if it gets you like all worked up, then it's just the universe is just letting you know that either when you were younger, you've been guilty of doing the same thing. I mean, think about it. When you see a car doing that, there might be a real reason why they're doing it.
Yeah, no, I mean, I just shake my head. I'm not, concerned more of, I hope they don't cause any accidents. Um, but as far as trying to pace them down and stop them and scold them and all that, no, I
Oh
can't
God,
go.
I hope you don't do that. That would be taking it to another level.
I,
Okay, but you did say something else too that's intriguing to me in there, and I wanted to talk about this anyway. You said that you wrote about things that you liked that I did and things that you didn't like that I did. So can you share a little bit about what you enjoyed in this experience and maybe what you didn't enjoy so much?
I think the overall experience, Maureen, has been great. I don't think there's been anything that I haven't liked. Um, I think that, you've opened up my eyes to, the Reiki and trying to get a session in with Amani to get that done, which will be interesting. Um, the, chakra, the acupuncture. Hey, my shoulder,
Shut up.
I
Is
swear
it better?
to God.
What? Your shoulder's better?
Yeah, I don't have any pain in my shoulder anymore.
Oh my God. Okay, but like, can I just say something here?
Yeah, yeah.
That's not just acupuncture that did that. It's the work that you've done.
Yeah, yeah.
You've
So
opened it up.
I've done the four acupuncture sessions,
Yes.
and
You
I do have
also
another.
opened up your mind to the possibility of being healed in other ways.
Yes, yes. So acupuncture, thank you.
Oh, wait, we're not moving on from the shoulder just yet because you've had that shoulder pain forever.
Yeah, yes, yeah, yeah,
See
yeah.
what I mean when I say you can't create a new result if you don't change the way you're thinking first, and that inspires you to get an emotion that will get you to take a different action.
Yes. Yes.
If you didn't do that, you'd still be doing the same old, and you would be thinking, nope, this is just the way it is for RJ Sturgeon at
Yeah,
62. He or 61, he's just gonna have shoulder pain for the rest of his life.
that's what I thought I lived with.
Oh my God. This is amazing. This is a huge outcome.
Yeah, yeah. So that's, I'm happy about the acupuncture. I still want to, try the chiropractor and physical therapy, but I don't, I mean, yeah, when I roll my shoulders, I'm still hearing clicks and clacks and whatever, but that's just old age, I guess.
Well, that's
Um,
okay. But do it the course said the Mastering Brain for Success course.
uh-huh.
That also is going to be for your shoulder. That's what I'm trying. I still don't feel like you totally get the mind body connection. Because the acupuncture, yes, you thought differently and it's energetic, but I mean, literally talking about all this stuff that we've talked about, reconnecting with your loved ones, going inward, becoming more aware of your emotions and releasing them is what is making your shoulder better. It's not just the acupuncture.
No, I definitely, the stress or the worry or the um, you know, yes, I believe it's a combination of things, but damn those needles work.
Yeah, but it was trapped emotions that were in your
Yeah,
shoulder. Yeah.
yeah.
And don't think that it can't come back. So I'm just saying, it is a combination and it's a practice to continue taking care of your body. But that's amazing that your shoulder is better. That's really exciting. So there
Yes, yeah.
wasn't there at least a moment where I annoyed you or asked you to do something, or you're just like, oh my God, if she says that again, I'm gonna slap her or anything like that?
No, I mean, um,
Be honest. I can handle it.
I think, you know, trying to think the letters.
The letters, yeah. I will, that which you resist persist, right? So the letters are definitely that person who keeps showing up in your dreams. I would write
Yeah,
that person a nice long letter.
yeah, yeah.
Again, not to give it to them. It's for
No, no,
your benefit of if in a world where you felt totally 100% safe and you were able to do it and get it all out of you.
yeah,
Get it
yeah,
out of your head and onto paper and then rip it or burn it.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, yeah, it's gonna be a book. Just kidding.
Okay. It could be.
Yeah, it could
Kind of
be.
starting to get an idea of who this letter is going to, but I won't say anything. All right. So, okay. Is there anything else that we should cover I'm just glad that you have the course and that we have the community because after doing this experiment with you, now I want to stay connected to people I do the experiment with.
Yeah,
And I want to make it affordable so that people can be a part of the community. And then there's always, this is for you and for the audience, there's also opportunities down the road that we could dig deeper and work together, of course, for a
yes,
fee to go deeper if we ever wanted to. But I really think that the experiment and the community and the course and the community, you could interact as much as you want or not. Like it's
yeah,
not a
yeah,
requirement that you have to, but it's pretty cool. And the people who come seem to like it and
yeah,
really enjoy being around like-minded people who are imperfect like they are
yeah,
and
yeah,
finding out that they're not as alone as they think they are or their
yeah,
flaws aren't as unique as they think they are. So I think it's great, but it's also a process. Like I had a person come that wouldn't turn on their video at first because they were too uncomfortable. But that was
yeah,
one episode and now they love the community. So you
yeah,
can't
yeah.
learn more things about yourself if you don't do something new and different.
Yeah, no, I mean the one, I mean over the last, month or so, the one time I did join the community, it was just three of us.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
instead
because
of,
sometimes there's not a lot of people, sometimes
yeah,
more people come. But I
yeah,
actually think it's more like I'm trying to figure out how when it grows to keep small groups because I actually think most people prefer that than being in a
Mhm.
big container. So I'm going to break it up and do different groups for people who are attracted to different topics or whatever. But it's all a work in progress.
Yeah, no. It's a great work, Maureen, and I love the brain BS, and I, do tout the experiment that I participated in to people share the links with the for the podcast with them and let them learn more about me. I mean, it's even some of the friends or relatives or whatever it may be don't really understand, you know probably the first two episodes learn more about me than they knew about me.
Yeah.
uh
The
where I
entire
was.
time they've been in a relationship with you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like opening up and getting that stuff out of you to other people is part of the healing process.
Yes. So that's been great, and I love our connection,
Yeah, me
and
too.
look forward to the interaction with the community and the courses, and bettering myself, in the as we go down the years and years and years.
Yes, many, many years ahead of us. So, okay,
Yes.
before I wrap it up, because I just realized I forgot to this paper, these are the things that I noticed about you. So I think it would be
Okay.
beneficial for you to hear it because we don't always see things about ourselves and it's easier for
All right.
someone else to see them. So after the first episode, you started walking 30 minutes a day. You
Yes.
began to review the past and reconnect with loved ones and you recognize that you had been more focused on taking care of other people and not on yourself.
Yes.
In the second episode, you explored regrets you have about relationships in your past. You started to become more proactive with your health care by developing questions for the doctors. You were facing
Yes.
your fears regarding your mortality. You started playing pickleball
Yes.
and you acknowledge that you've been closed off and shut down to new relationships, especially when it comes to dating.
Yes.
In episode 3, you learned about the chakra system and how an unbalanced heart chakra can lead to lung ailments. You learned about the value of listening to your intuition about acupuncture and what Reiki is all about. And you became more
Mhm.
aware of how accepting you have been about being in pain with your shoulder and
Yeah.
normalizing it into your everyday life.
Yes.
Until that episode, you didn't even really realize that that pain could be optional. You really believed that it was just your life and you were going to have that pain.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, in episode 4, you learned about your human design and how
Yes.
you're wired to navigate in the world. You discovered the best way for you to make decisions, and that frustration is a sign for you that you're not living in alignment and from your best self. You also became aware of how you tend to avoid uncomfortable emotions and that writing about them is difficult for you.
Yes. Yes.
Because
Manifesting generator.
yes, yes.
Oh,
And that is how you manifest. You start by thinking about it and then
yes.
starting to take action slowly. And then that's all. And then in this episode, um, I have to think about it and reflect on it to know for sure. But I'm gonna this episode and the experiment and the write-up, I'm gonna put that in the show notes of this last episode. So if
Yeah.
anybody's looking at it, they can see the benefits. I'm really, really inspired to show people how beneficial this work can be. And that really, when it comes down to it, it's I think me helping you to reconnect with your community as the best version of you.
I yes, I would agree. I mean, I needed someone to bring me out of the, I guess, slump I was in, or the my life.
Yeah, in isolation a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
No. Yeah.
yeah. Even if you're like around other people, you can isolate yourself emotionally. So it's
Mm.
like just like taking down the walls and helping people to see that they're doing that and that it's optional and that you can reconnect with, because really that's why we're here, is to be connected to other people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's great. You're a great coach, Maureen.
Thanks. I'm so excited that you were there, that I went to Tucson and I didn't go to Bisbee, Arizona,
You went
or
to
or I didn't
Scottsdale.
go to Tucson. I went to Scottsdale. I was going to go to Tucson or Bisbee because Bisbee looked cool.
Yeah.
But something took me to, and it was you, and it was this and what we're doing, and it's opened up my eyes and really, really has me more determined than ever to get more people to be aware of this work and to get them to experiment. So if you know anybody that you
Yeah.
think should get to do an experiment on the
Yeah.
podcast, send them my way.
Will.
All
I
right.
will.
Anything
I
else you
hope we
want
have
to say?
many more participants in the experiment.
Yeah, oh,
Yeah.
and I took care of you, right? Like emotional
Yes.
safety and stuff. We scrapped that first episode because I was worried for you that you said too much. I initiated that whole interaction. So can you just
Yes.
tell people that it's a safe environment and I would never have them do anything that made them uncomfortable or publish anything that would be bad for them?
Yeah, no, I totally agree with, when we did scrap that first one, as some of those words came out of my mouth, I'm going, can you hit pause or something?
But you didn't
But
say that,
I
right?
know I didn't say that.
Would
And
you
and
now, though? If we were doing it now, do you think you would feel comfortable enough to say, wait, I wish I didn't say that? Can we do
yes, yes. I mean it's
good?
just that, maybe um do you always have a, because when we started this, I didn't know what the hell was going to happen. I didn't know what our conversation would really be about, or what would spew from my mouth. And sometimes that, you say things and then it's just like that regret where, even in life where, we say things and we don't mean them, but you can't take them back, or that person can't unhear them. Um, so yes, definitely a safe environment that you have provided, and I love it.
Good. I loved having you on it. And also, just for the record, even if we had to scrap another episode while we were doing this because you didn't catch it in the moment that you said something, I mean,
Yeah,
honestly, it was my intuition that led to me reaching out to you because I was like, mm. So I'm always willing to do that for anyone who comes on the podcast to do an
yeah,
experiment. And then the other
yeah.
thing that I'm offering too is anonymous experiments. So
Okay.
people can come on and I do 1 to 3. I'm gonna stick to 3 sessions now instead of
Yeah,
5. So
yeah,
3 sessions and they could come on just with me. We don't air the interview and I just do a recap of what the person learned, a synopsis. They approve of it. And then I can share that in an episode by myself. So that's another option for people because people are really scared to be open, honest, and authentic. We're so used to having masks on and hiding and being so worried about what other people think of us. So I have to really, really baby the people who come on to make sure that they feel taken care of and for them to know they can trust me.
yeah. No, and I feel that I can trust you, and then I feel good enough to put myself out there, confident enough in who I am, that the people that know me will accept will accept me regardless of what I say, or talk about on these podcasts. But I thoroughly have enjoyed the experience, and will continue to um, enjoy the community, the
Awesome.
brain Piece community.
Yes. All right, audience. Again, RJ, it's been awesome. I'm glad that we're going to stay connected. I'm looking forward to the next year. And audience, I know you learned something valuable here today. I'll see you next episode. Thanks so much for listening to the Brain BS podcast. I hope you really learned something here today that can be helpful and that you can apply to your own life. If you find it useful, I would appreciate it if you gave me a 5-star review at Apple Podcasts and shared the podcast with everyone you know so that I can reach more people and help them to learn how to live consciously and live the life they really want. If you'd like to be on the podcast, you can email me at mkcoachllc@gmail.com or message me on Facebook. Until the next time,